Hey everyone, mom and sis, how are you? Um, we'll get started here in just a few minutes once we get some more people in the stream. We'll see when the notifications start going out, and we'll get going. Let's see. All right, looks like notifications are starting to go out. So this comment, let me know you're here, and I'll know who's in the stream. I know StreamYards can be slow sometimes on the chat, so. But I do have my daughter with me. She's going to talk about her paranormal experiences and things that she has experienced over the years since she was very young. Hey, Kelsey. Um, and she'll be talking about things that, how she sees apparitions and how all that works. So, Kelsey, how's everybody over your way? All right. Let's see. Fix this a little better here. Okay. That's good, Kelsey. So we'll give just a few more minutes and then we'll get going. And she's got some notes and things she's written down. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And we'll start going. Let me fix this thing so it doesn't buzz. I'm going to send a few more notifications out just in case people have missed it. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So we'll go ahead and get started a little bit. And as people come in, we'll just kind of backtrack and tell them what's going on. Okay. So you've had some experiences since you were real little.
Yes.
And your first experiences were when our grandparents passed away. It'd be your great grandparents. You saw our mamaw not long after she passed away. Can you tell us about how that worked and what you remember of that? You were just 2-3 years older, so
Yeah, I think I was like 2. Yeah, 2 or 3. But I don't remember it. I just remember like my nana and my dad telling me about it. Yeah, I don't remember anything much about my mamaw except when I got older. I was probably like 13 and I was upset because a bunch of things. But anyways, I was sitting outside crying and I heard my nana's voice say, "Katie." Well, I ran over to my nana's because I thought she needed me. And she said that she was nowhere near outside of the window or anything and that she didn't holler my name. So that made me to believe that that was my mamaw. And she just sounded like my nana.
They did sound a lot alike. And so I'll backtrack a little bit further than that, than the experiences that she remembers. Now, what she doesn't remember is when she was 2 years old, she saw my mamaw more than once after she passed away. She would say, "Mamaw, there's Mamaw. I see her. There she is." And so those are things she don't remember, but I remember real well. And you saw her at our home where we were living at the time twice. Once outside a window and once in the living room. And then you saw her again at a cemetery when you were with your nana putting flowers on the grave. So that's the experiences that she had when she was little. Then our papaw died the next year, and and she saw him a couple of times. Once my sister was carrying her and going from one house to the next, and she saw my papa then. So those are things that I remember that she saw as a kid, and as she got older, those experiences just kept happening. So the next person who passed away was your grandma Hilda, your and be your great grandmother again.
Yeah.
And you saw her at, where was it, like a Bojangles or somewhere?
Yeah, I was at a Bojangles, and I was with my husband now. He was my boyfriend at the time. And this old lady walked up to me with a little cane. And I mean, my grandma never had a cane. She died of cancer, but she never had a cane or anything. And she looked just like her. She looked at me, smiled, and I was kind of confused because I'm like, oh my God, this looks like my grandma. And so I turned and I start walking towards the seat where my boyfriend at the time was sitting. And I turn around and she's completely gone. And this lady, if she was actually real, should have just been getting ready to walk out the door. And so that's like the thing that I remember the most, besides like what I've seen in your house and stuff. But that's the first grandparent that I actually remember seeing.
Yeah. And you saw her really good. Like with Mama, though, you heard her voice.
Yeah.
With Grandma Hilda, you actually saw her in a different, maybe with a cane or whatever. But you turned around to Brandon and said, "Hey, did you see her?" And he didn't see anybody. There was nobody there.
Yeah.
Nobody was outside of the store. Nobody was around. So.
And I mean, she would have had to been going out the door because I had just literally turned around. So I mean.
So with somebody with a cane means she's probably not walking so well, so she couldn't have hurried out the door and ran to a car or something.
Yeah.
So that was interesting that you got that. And then your grandpa died a few years ago.
Yeah.
And you saw the backside of him. He didn't face you, but.
Yeah, I've still not seen the front of my grandpappy's face. I've always seen the back of his head. And I've seen him a couple of times at the house that he's died at, outside of it. And that's the only times I've seen him.
And then there was another occasion where you were riding with your mother-in-law and you all were going down the river and you saw one of Brandon's cousins who had passed away recently.
Yeah, it was his uncle. We were going down the road and I looked out the window and there was a guy that looked just like his uncle sitting there on the ground looking at the river. And I mean, I don't really know much about his uncle because I didn't know him for that long, but it looked just like him. I don't know if he used to go to the river or whatever, but it was crazy.
May have. And then the latest one would have been your husband's grandfather passed away within about a month or so ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you saw him a couple of times, right?
Well, I've seen him once. He was, okay. My husband was outside. So first I thought it was my husband. And I look out the door and there's a man with overalls on, which is what his grandfather wore most of the time. And he had a plaid shirt on. And I remember looking outside, seeing him, seeing his face, and thinking, I'm seeing things. It's definitely my husband. And I look back and he's gone. My husband couldn't run that fast. So
no, I can vouch for that. Hey, Bama, how are you doing? Gary, how are you? Good to see you in here, Gary.
Hello, everyone.
And Kelsey says she saw somebody that looked like y'all's grandfather driving a hot rod, which he would be driving all the time. So sometimes I think we get glimpses of people that remind us like doppelganger type things. And then sometimes, like you do, you see the spirits of the people. So it's a combination of things that I think sometimes comes through. I don't ever really catch apparitions, although I've caught glimpses, mostly shadows. But Caitlin is able to catch, like the whole full body apparitions. So you got some stuff written down. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to talk about when I was a kid, I remember there was a man that I called him the top hat man. And he stays in my dad's family room. And I would see him at night all the time, but I'd only see the side of his face. And he was very tall, slim. He had like a top hat on. He has a very big nose. And, I mean, he would just walk through a family room, and I'd never see him again. But I'd see him a lot growing up. And I also saw the lady in black, which she would hang out in the kitchen area of my dad's house. and she would walk back and forth through the kitchen and disappear.
Hmm.
Um,
And Marnie has seen some things like she's not seen the top hat man, but she has seen some women standing in about the same area as the lady in black. So
yeah, right there in front of the pantry.
There's something going on. Hey Tony, how are you? What else you got?
So I seen Thomas. You probably heard Dad and Sissy talk about Thomas. I seen him at my Nana's house. He ran by the window a couple times. And me and my aunt were actually trying to do an investigation, kind of. We had, what is that app called?
What, the ghost tool? The blue hand app?
Yeah.
Okay.
Necrophonic, I think.
Oh, the Necrophonic? Yeah, that one. Okay, yeah.
We were using that, and we could never get the little boy to tell us his name. And I kept telling my sissy, I was like, well, he's got to be like 8 or 9. And I was like, he just looks like he is. And so I went into my Nana's bathroom, looked out the window, and it sounded like somebody just whispered in my ear, Thomas. So that's kind of where we got Thomas from.
But the thing was, when she said that, a few seconds just after she said that, Thomas came through the Necrophonic app.
Yeah.
So you heard it as a disembodied voice, and then it finally came right through the Necrophonic within seconds after you said it. So that was good that's what you call good confirmation. Because you got not only a disembodied voice that you heard, but it also came through the Necrophonic, which that's really, really cool. What else you got here?
Okay, I have a bunch of them.
You got a lot. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, I saw a lady in my Nana's apartment building. It's kind of like her storage building beside her house. And I was out there with my aunt, and she was standing in the back corner of this apartment and towards like the door. And she looked really sad. She was wearing all black. She had like a veil over her face. But I mostly remember her sad eyes is what I kept telling my aunt. And come to find out, my aunt showed me a picture of the lady that used to live there. And she had the exact same sad looking eyes, which was crazy. So it must have been her that I had seen.
She went through a lot. Her name was Matilda, I believe. And from what my sister has told us, she went through a lot. She had like children die. Of course, husband died. She was pretty sad. I could see that.
No, thank you.
Okay. And so let's see. What else you got?
And then the only other one that I have is the little boy that hangs around my house. He follows me around. My husband's seen him a couple of times. He's around 3 or 4. He's about the height of my middle child, which is what freaks us out sometimes, because sometimes we'll see my middle child standing in the bathroom when really he's in the bedroom. And so I've seen him a couple of times. He has like a dark blue shirt on. And as I was writing this down last night, the weird part about it is I know that he has really dark hair and it's like black. And that's how I can tell him apart from my son. And I had underlined dark a couple of times. And then as I was writing, I wrote down the name Ethan. And I have no idea why I wrote down Ethan. I even circled it a couple of times. And so I'm assuming that may be his name, that he was trying to tell me his name because I was writing him down. But I'm not really sure.
Possibly Ethan. So sometimes I think spirits will talk to us even through our mind, as opposed to even. I mean, it's almost like it's an empathy. It's empath, and you're catching things that are coming through that. And I'll do this. Reason why I never say what I feel or hear, what I think I'm hearing, is because I don't want to influence the spirits. So I'm looking for a guy named Joe, and if I feel like Joe's there, I want Joe to tell me he's there. I don't want to influence another spirit to say Joe. Yeah. So that's why a lot of times I don't do that. It's like Brandon's in here.
I think that's Bailey.
Oh, Bailey? Okay. Hey, Bailey. And let's see, what else you got? That it?
But I did forget to write down one that I just started thinking about. So in my laundry room, my dryer door would open a lot when we first bought the house, and it finally got to the point where I was getting frustrated because my clothes weren't getting dry. It kept opening, so eventually I got to the point to where I felt like it was a lady in there, so I went in there and I said, if you're the lady that keeps opening my dryer, please stop. And I haven't had it happen anymore.
And so Brandon, I'm sure, checked to make sure, okay, this ain't just popping open. It's because there's a malfunction or something, right? So,
yeah, I mean, it's a brand new dryer too, so it's kind of stiff when you first get it anyways. Okay. So it was really weird.
And that's the thing you got to do is, debunk as much as you can. But if you can't debunk anything, I mean, after a while, you got to just say, okay, it's unexplainable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of like we've had the cooking spray fall out of our spice holder on the door a couple times. I actually watched it happen one day.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. It was so wild. Me and Marnie both were just like, oh, okay. Because it hit the floor like months before that. And I walked in from the den to go in there and look, and it was in the floor. Well, and then I was sitting at the kitchen table. Marnie was at the sink, and we both see it goes boop right into the floor. And then here recently, there's been spice balls laying in the floor. So that whole little area where our laundry room is, and remember the kitchen meets up to it. Sometimes spices and stuff are now going into the floor, and there's no reason for that. They're in there secure in these little slots, so they shouldn't be coming out, and they do. I don't know. It's real weird. If anybody's got any questions, please ask questions. Let's see if I missed anybody. I think I've got everybody that's in here. Yeah, water too. Yeah, all kinds of stuff going on, and let's see. Great, you can see them and you can get that connection. That's a great gift. Yes, it is a great gift, Gary. She does have a unique gift. It's good when Marnie can do that. Kaylin can do that. I can't do that. So there's things I can do, but it's just not that. But so that's all the experiences you've had as far as seeing things, and you'll hear things sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, like, I try to like debunk it. I'm like, oh, it's just my mind playing with me. Mm-hmm. Like, if I see something pass by me, like a couple days ago, actually, I thought my daughter was running onto the porch. She was up at my in-laws' house, and it was just me and my youngest in the house. And so my youngest runs over to the door, and so I was like, oh, it must be my daughter. And he starts saying, no. Mm-hmm. And I look outside, there's nobody. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of weird. I mean, sometimes I just say, oh, it was nothing.
Mm-hmm. Marnie had a couple of questions she wanted we and her talked about. So one thing is like, how do you feel when these things happen? Is one thing. How does it start for you? Is it just like out of the blue, or what? I mean, what's going on there?
It just about every time it's out of the blue. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, sometimes when I'm doing like an investigation with Sissy or something, or you, mm-hmm. I do feel drained a lot. Mm-hmm. But when I'm just seeing people, I don't. I mean, I'll see them for like a couple of seconds, and then they're gone. Especially like with my grandma, because that was the biggest one for me, because mm-hmm. I can remember that. Mm-hmm. It was like a couple of seconds, and she was gone.
And does the spirits do anything to you? I mean, I know you get weak and tired. We all do that. But do you like feel like something's around you? Like
when we were doing like with Thomas and stuff, I felt like he was trying to communicate with me. And that's why I heard him say Thomas. Because, I mean, and then like with the thing where I wrote down Ethan, like sometimes I feel like they're trying to communicate through me. But I don't really know.
And how does it look when you see them? How? Because I didn't really ask you this much, but how does it look? Now, to some people, it's transparent. Well, how do you see it? How good do you see it?
Like a normal human being. Honestly, like they don't look. Sometimes, like when they start to disappear or whatever, like Brandon's papaw, he started to disappear, and it kind of looked misty, kind of. But when I first looked at him, he looked like a real person.
So a full body apparition.
Yeah.
Like. No, you don't. You see through them,
no.
Or just see like the whole body?
I just see the whole body.
Wow. Let's see. Bama says, "How long in your life have you had this wonderful ability?" Well, I can tell you this: ever since she's about 2 years old.
Yeah.
And that she don't remember those experiences, but The one she's telling you now is everything that she's remembered over the last several years. But yeah, since you were real little.
I mean, growing up and stuff, I probably saw, there's no telling how much, but in my mind, I didn't think about it because I was like, oh, that's a normal person, you know? And there's no telling how many times I have seen a ghost and I thought that it was just a normal person, like walking through the grocery store or something. Because, I mean, I don't know them, so I don't know that they're dead or alive.
Like the top hat man, that's a kind of a good one to talk about because we can't really trace him to anybody that's in our home or family possibly. But anyway, with the top hat man, how transparent did he look? I mean, did it look? How did he look to you?
I mean, for me, I could only see the side of him. Like I never did see it was like always his left side that I would see. I'd never see his right side. But I mean, he still looked like a full man. Like he didn't look transparent.
They never turned to look at you.
Nope. He would always start at the fireplace and walk towards the kitchen and disappear. Like he never looked at me. He was always looking straight. So.
Wow. Hey, Rich, still one. Yeah, we're doing early. My daughter's with me. She could only do during the day, so we're enjoying a day stream today for our podcast. Glad you're here, bud.
Hello.
Let's see. So how many apparitions do you think that you have seen that know you're there, or how many do you think that's just what's it called, residual? Yeah. How many has made contact with you? Let's put it that way.
I mean, all the experiences that I've had seem like they have known that I'm there because they either look at me or like with Thomas and the Ethan kid, like they've tried to communicate through me somehow. So I feel like they always know that I can see them, I guess.
Like the top hat man, if he never did look at you or anything.
No, but
so he's probably residual.
Yeah, I think he's residual. And so is the lady in black because I would always see her in the same spot.
How does she look exactly?
She had a long black dress on and go all the way down to her feet, which come to think of it, I don't think I ever looked at her legs to see if her legs were actually there. Because most of the time I was scared because granted I was like 10, 11, 12, And but I mean she looked like a real lady. She was kind of pale white, but I mean a lot of people kind of are.
Yeah, especially if they're dead.
Yeah.
See, the campground recently. Y'all went camping about a month ago.
So I'll go ahead and tell you my husband's experience first because it'll make more sense. So we stayed at a KOA close to our house, and the first night my husband saw a younger lady, probably around my age, like 24, 25. And she was walking past all the campers and she went straight down. There's like a little bank and then it goes down into the river. Well, she walked straight down that bank and into the river, which my husband thought was pretty weird. I mean, anybody would, because it's like 10:30 at night. Why would there be a younger lady walking down to the river? So he didn't think much about it. He just told me about it. And he said that she never did come back up. So he kind of thinks that she kind of just disappeared. Well, the next day, we were on a golf cart, and I saw a lady walking around the lake thing that they have there. And I told Brandon, I said, that lady's going to be mad because it was like a dirt road. And a lot of people would walk through there just to go do their morning walks or whatever. And I was like, oh, she's probably going to be mad because we're driving through here. And he said, who? And I look back up and she's gone, like that lady that I saw. And there's nowhere for her to go. I mean, there was some woods, but I mean, you could see in them. And I mean, she couldn't have ran that fast. And she had like a black shirt on. She had on blue jean, like capri shorts, kind of like knee shorts. And she just disappeared. And then that night, my husband decided he was going to stay up and see if that lady walked through there again. Well, he stayed up and watched the lady make the same exact route that she was already going down to the river. He followed her to the river and she disappears. And we don't know why.
Yeah, so it's like she's probably drowned, I guess.
That's what I was thinking. Like that, she has to keep reliving, like up to her death. I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm. So that's what you would consider residual, more or less, because it's just happening over and over and over. So they're repeating their death, and who knows? I don't know that we've ever found anything about that. Of course, she could have died there before there ever was a campground. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
But who knows when that could have happened, or could have happened very recently.
But with the way that she was dressed, I feel like it would have had been like recently, kind of.
Mhm.
I mean, not like back in the day, because I mean, women didn't really wear capri shorts, blue jeans, you know.
Yeah. So it's probably been within probably the last 10, 15 years, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember any stories about that, but sometimes things are not really out there too much to kind of keep things, especially if you're a campground, you're not going to let a lot of things out that might scare people away.
You want people to know that some lady committed suicide in the river.
Right. So those things are, they would probably kind of like Helen's Bridge. Not a lot of people would put that in the paper that somebody hung herself, especially with prominent rich people there. That seems to be the case, I think. Let me see. Anybody else got any questions, by the way? If you got any questions, please comment. I'll read them to her. Let's see. So, yeah, Brandon sees things, your husband. He's been like you ever since he was little, seeing things.
Yeah.
Does a grandkid see anything?
I feel like my youngest does. Because he's seen the little boy with the black hair a couple of times. I feel like the little boy that's in my house, that I wrote down his name, Ethan. I'm not sure if that's really his name or not, but it just came to my mind, which was really weird. But it feels like he tries to play peekaboo with my youngest son, because a lot of the times, like, I've walked into the bathroom and seen the little boy standing in my shower. And I mean, you know how freaky that is. Whether you're used to seeing dead people or not. I mean, anybody behind the shower is going to freak you out. Well, a couple of times Hudson has ran to that bathroom and said, "No, Bubba, no." And I think he thinks that it's his brother sometimes, because he's about the same height.
But Bubba's in another room, or Bubba's not there. Yep. Okay. So Kelsey says that Emily sees things too sometimes. Kids are, when you're that little, that's kind of like, some people grow out of it. Yeah. And never do. And then some don't. I think it's the innocence of a child that can see things. And then it's depending on if that gift stays with it or not. What you see later on. Some people just don't want to remember, I
mean, I've always heard that kids see things.
Yeah, it's the innocence of a child. You don't even know that it's wrong or not wrong necessarily, but just that you shouldn't really necessarily be seeing something, but you do. And spirits are able to manifest themselves to children and animals because they don't know no different. So, yeah, kids are less jaded. Yeah, but it's just one of those things where kids and dogs. I mean, I know our dogs will sometimes look at things and start barking in the corners and stuff. There's nothing there. Well, to me, there's nothing there. I don't see anything, but there may be seeing something, maybe a person or whatever, or maybe even another animal. Who knows? But yeah. So sometimes it's just, it's innocence. That they do see things, and you did a lot too when you were a kid. So
it's just a lot I don't remember. It stinks, but
you seen stuff too as a kid, Rich? I don't remember anything. I can tell you this. Sometimes it feels like, they say that, I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but they say when you walk through a spirit, not knowing, it feels like you're going through a spider web. And it really does, because I've done that before. I was working at a grocery store and I was walking through and I feel like a whole spider web just came over my face and arms and stuff. And I thought, that's weird. I just walked this area just a second ago, so I know there's not been a spider web added in less than 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
So I've had that kind of experience before, which I thought was kind of interesting for sure. Do you ever have that going on?
Not really. At Nana's house, especially in the bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
At times, it'll feel like somebody just like takes their hand and rubs their fingers down your back, like kind of like that.
Oh.
I felt that happen a lot in Nana's, but not really feeling like there was a spider web or anything.
Mm-hmm. So, Rich, did you have a good experience with that, or was that an evil experience, or what was going on there with that, bud? Um, so, yeah, I always like to hear people's stories. Like Kaylin's always telling me stuff that's going on. I like to hear what people say they see because, like I say, for me, it's just I catch a glimpse very rarely of something. I've seen a lady laying on her couch at home. Probably about a year ago, just saw a glint, like top of her head and just her shoulders mostly, and it was gone just in an instant. I do see shadows. I've seen shadows lately in the house a little more than I used to. So is Marnie, so we're both catching shadows quite a bit. Kids have more. That's right. Kids have more of a mind that's not polluted by the world. Yeah, that is very true. Youngest just made me go to the door, and I thought I was looking for the deer, and he said, "Boy," and I said, "Who is it?" And he said, "Sorry." So I guess your kids are saying something now over there, moms.
There's always something going on at Nana's.
Yeah, my mom's house has a lot of stuff that goes on over there.
Yeah.
There's a well that's no longer used that spirits have. We've seen orbs coming in and out of those type things.
I've heard kids run through Nana's house when our kids were just sitting there.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Celia catches things like bread falls on the floor for no reason. Things like that. So, like I say, we have spices and stuff. I guess spirits are hungry. I don't know. And so spices and sprays and stuff fall on the floor. And so far, you never count anything evil, have you?
No, but I do pray every time I do see something.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I feel like praying to God and stuff, He protects you. Right. And I feel like that's why I haven't seen anything evil.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, I don't really want to.
Nope. Nobody wants to do that. But, yeah, I mean, I don't feel anything's evil. I think we've got a lot of family here.
Yeah.
We had a lot of family die on these lands or love this place enough to come back. So therefore, I mean, if it's anything evil, you just got to be careful. But it's like Hannah said, pray. Pray is a big thing to do.
Definitely.
It could be, sis. I mean, we've got a creek near the house too. Those things can, accumulate spirits, activity. There could be a lot of things that's doing that. But yeah, I've never felt anything evil. I mean, here, the spirits do stuff, we catch things like the cat ball stuff going on, flashlights. Now we got a mirror. Y'all see that Sunday night. I got a mirror in here now we're going to be using. I'm actually going to try to set up a sensor light or one of those lights that come on and put it directly underneath the mirror and see if a spirit does pass through, it should kick that light on. So we'll see. Kaylin's been in here a little while. Have you seen anything out of the dolls? Anything going on with them?
No, I haven't seen anything.
Okay.
Oh, I did remember. One time I did get scratched at my Nana's house in the kitchen. And that was around the same time every time I'd take my bag and set it up on Nana's table, it'd fall on the floor, which was really weird. But, other than that, that's the only thing that kind of mean evil, I guess.
Could be, yeah. Now, that was another thing that Marnie wanted to ask if you sensed anything from the dolls and stuff. And
no.
I know that, like with most of them, they seem to be pretty friendly. I mean, I don't think we have anything going on out here that's evil at all. I don't know what that mirror is going to produce. That mirror's old. I mean, it may not even do anything. Rich says, I think it was evil, so it was at night. I got woken up to a noise on the side of the bed. And I looked over the side of the bed, and this lumberjack man rose up. And as he rose up, he picked me up. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's probably, or it could be a.
There's somebody walking around outside.
Bro?
Yeah.
I'll go look here in a sec. But that could be evil. Let me look. See if somebody's
Because I keep
outside.
hearing somebody, and then I saw something right here out of the corner of my eye when I was listening. Right here in front of the window. Like they had walked around.
Well, we had the mailman come up a couple times, so could be Amazon or something. I don't know. Maybe somebody walking.
I mean, he wouldn't be walking that way.
Oh, walking over there.
Yeah, like towards your woods.
I don't know about that.
But did you not hear it? It sounded like somebody's footsteps, like walking right beside us.
No, I didn't hear that at all.
That's weird.
I didn't see anybody out there.
But sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. And then Marnie should have came on in here, I think. I don't think she'd just been walking around. Or she'd been walking the dog, so we definitely would have heard that. But let's see. So yeah, Rich, that could be an evil. It could have been a spirit thing that's protecting you, maybe. That could be a slight possibility. But I don't think a spirit that's it didn't have to have a lot of force to do that. So I'm gonna lean that's probably a little more evil. I know spirits try to protect us sometimes.
Yeah.
But I remember looking down at my bed and he threw me back down on the bed. So I told my dad the next day. Yeah. And so Marnie says she's not outside. She's inside.
I didn't think so.
Because
I mean, it was just like, it was fast, whatever it was. Because you could hear it walking and then it, like, as I was watching you read these comments and stuff, it just looked like somebody like zipped by, like out of the corner of my eye.
Well, you can catch those things, so maybe who knows what it was. Who knows? But anyway, so yeah, that's probably evil, Rich. I'm glad you're not hurt, or I guess you wasn't hurt from it, but that'd be something I know would be a long lasting effect, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. It'd be traumatizing.
Yeah, it would, definitely, for sure. I would not want that kind of encounter. I don't mind, like spirits like tapping you or something, let's not like sometimes I'll get stuff like it. I'll feel something pulling at my pants leg or tapping me on the leg or something, but nothing bad. But yeah, that would be traumatizing. Could have been, sis. My sister took a picture outside the shed here one night, and there was kind of like a not a shadow, but a mist that showed up.
That was like right beside me.
Yeah, it was right beside where you were standing out there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, Rich, that's bad. I don't think that was a good thing. So what else? Anything else you got?
I mean, that's all the things like, because I mean, most of the time I'm just like, no, I didn't really see that. That didn't really happen. Just so I stay sane.
Well, I mean, the thing is, people who do have these experiences, though, it's as a gift. I think it's a good gift.
Yeah.
It can also be a gift that you might want to turn off from time to time if you can, because I know it can get overwhelming. Like Lorraine Warren had things that she said, she would see all kinds of things. It wouldn't be good; it'd be evil stuff.
Yeah.
So there's people who see things too, but I think sometimes spirits, especially family, try to manifest to whoever they can to say, "Hey, I'm okay. I'm right here."
That's what I think too. I think that's why I mostly see them after they have already passed away. Is because, like, with my grandma, I feel like she was smiling at me to tell me that she was okay, that she's fine, and that she's going on. Because I've never seen her again. So I don't know if, like, especially with family, they're just there to say, "Hey, I'm fine. I wanted to check on you," and then leave.
Yeah.
And then, like, some of the things, like with the little kids that follow me around and stuff, like the little Ethan boy that I was talking about, the one that stays around my house, my husband has seen him follow me up the driveway multiple times, and it freaks him out. And so I feel like sometimes they just hang around because they feel like, I mean, that I can see them. So yeah, they feel comfortable.
Yeah, you said they felt comfortable before. Hey, Midnight Paranormal, how are you? Let's see. Rich says he didn't believe me either. Neither told my mom. So I guess the next night my mom felt something tickling her foot. And when she looked, she described the exact same person. So, yeah, so that
Oh
was
gosh.
probably not a good experience at all from whatever that was. I hate that though. I hate to think any kid gets bothered by any spirits other than, if you have spirits that's just playing with them or trying to, be nice and friendly, that's fine. But there's so many evil spirits out there that want to do wrong, and I don't like that. Well, Rich, you need to, I'll get you on the podcast one day if you want to, bud, and you can share all your experiences. I love to have people up here that do that. And um, I'll get with you if you want to come up, and we'll do that one day or night, however your schedule's better, and we'll work that in. Um, so yeah, I think sometimes spirits just try to tell you, "Hey, I'm here, I'm fine. You want to go on? I'll see you later."
Yeah.
Kind
My
of like,
husband's mentioned it one time that he thinks I may be like a medium kind of, but
Mhm.
it's not like they try to talk to me a lot because most of the time I just see them and then they're gone.
Mhm.
And then, I mean, with this writing this stuff down for no reason, like
So
why would I write
you
ether
don't
down?
have like daily counters. You don't have things talking, or you can hear or disembodied voices every day.
I mean, I most of the time, no, I don't hear anything because
Mhm.
I have kids running around too. So half the
Yeah.
time, I think it's just them.
Mhm.
And no, I mean, it doesn't happen every day.
Mhm. Yeah, I think you could. Some people are able to attract easier than others, and so that happens. So I can see that. So that's probably why, and it seems like kids are more, and you'll see this with a lot of different, YouTubers that there's females involved, that kids are more apt to head towards the female, because that's just, they feel comfortable. To them, women are comfortable. It's like a mom or whatever,
Yeah.
and so trend toward that. So that makes sense. That you have these different experiences with kids more so than adults. It seems like sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know, about the top hat man. I don't know. I've never seen him or had any. I've tried to communicate with these two that you've talked about, the lady in black and the top hat man before, but I don't get anything. And if they're residual, I probably never will.
Yeah.
Or just say, common spirit just runs back and forth. And me not being able to see them like you do, I don't even know if they're even still there. They could be gone now. I mean, who knows?
Because I mean, this is what I'm 25 almost. So that's
Mhm.
like 10 years ago.
Yeah, 10, yeah, at least. So, those that I've tried to contact. Um, and anytime that, anybody says they may feel or sense or hear something or whatever, I try to see if I can figure out what it is. And, but I need to go to your house one day and try to see if I can get the kid to maybe play with, like a toy or something, or light the K2s up or whatever, and then see um, what you're dealing with. But it doesn't seem that it's a bad spirit, because some spirits can be as seen as kids, and then you see the real
Right.
side later. That usually doesn't take too long. It's usually pretty quick. They do that and they change over time pretty quick. You've had this for a while, so I would think that it's still a kid spirit, kind of like Thomas.
Yeah.
I think Thomas is a kid. I don't see anything malevolent out of that spirit at
I kind
all.
of feel like they come through like at certain times.
Mm-hmm.
They're not always there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just feel like I don't feel like that kid's there every single day.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's certain times, like certain seasons or whatever. Like
Mm-hmm.
mostly in the summer he'll be here, and then around wintertime he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't know why I feel like that, but I don't feel like he's with me all the time.
Well, I wonder if it's just one of those things where he's not as strong in certain times to be able
Maybe.
to show or whatever that happens. Spirits have to have a lot of energy to do stuff. It's kind of like you went up there to at the dolls earlier, and you were taking the cat balls and you were just moving them around. And you said, James is not coming on, Dad. And I took it and I shook it really, really hard, and it came on. So for hers to do that, she had to have a lot of energy the other night to turn that thing on.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a lot, because most of those cat balls, you can just barely tap and it'll start, flashing. Hers, you had to shake really hard. So for it to come on, if you hadn't seen it, it's on TikTok. There's a video of that from the other night from the flashlight and her ball going off. They had to have a lot of energy to do that. So, but they all work. She was just wanting to see if they all were working. Children are sensitive to paranormal. That's why children are more target. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes the negative. Yeah, negative will try to contact them too. Um, Children deal with a lot of things, like Rich was saying. Being picked up and stuff. Yeah, that they see them as vulnerable. That's for sure, and they will target. But there's also good spirits that also will try to. And a lot of times it seems like people have told me when it comes to like my child had an experience, and it seemed like it was my mom or grandmother or who family.
Yeah.
So it seems like kids, will sometimes also see grandparents stuff like you did. All right, Gary, welcome back. Um, but it's all these different experiences, and thank God nobody's been hurt or anything. Your kids are fine and everything. You're fine. Um, but never let your guard down though. Always keep your guard up just in case.
Oh yeah.
You never know what you might experience or what else could be, coming through. I'm one of those who believe that spirits can travel through portals, and it's not just they jump in it like Mario and just hop back out of that one spot. They're like Mario; they can hop in and come out somewhere else. And I mean, as the way we travel now in life, I believe spirits can travel in death. Um, I think the residual ones, however, are not obviously, but the ones that have knowledge, I think they're able to go through these different stages and go wherever they want to go. Because it's interesting how sometimes you'll have a spirit show up in one place and then another, and it either attach itself to you or somehow or another got itself from point A to point B. So that I believe they can travel.
Yeah.
But well, what else you got? Anything?
No, I
Covered
mean
it all.
that one boy that I saw for actually I saw him the longest probably standing outside my window, and he was walking with a dog towards my window. And I mean, we have a garage there, and he was walking like right in front of the garage. It wouldn't make no sense, but he was also dressed like he was in like the late 20s or something, or sometimes in the 20s, where he has like the suspenders and the little hat type thing that they used to wear. And he was walking towards me and then just vanished. And I feel like sometimes like they just walk through like where they pass through in life and then go on.
Yeah, sometimes I think that happens. And you said a dog too, because I've had other places like Lewis Memorials where I've gone to where they see Mr. Lewis, who donated the land for the cemetery. People have seen him on a horse and a dog with him. So that's another thing you've seen there is animal spirits, not just human spirits.
Yeah.
So yeah, I believe they can travel where they want, which is why they're able to follow from one home to. Yeah, I really believe so. I know that they can attach themselves to stuff, people or whatever equipment, but I also believe they can figure out how to travel. I really believe if they were familiar with places like their home and work or whatever, they may travel back and forth. They know how to get through this portal world that they're in. But yeah, it makes sense. That's for sure. Anybody got any more questions or anything? Let's see. I think you covered everything. You had quite a bit wrote down. And we're still doing investigation things that you've seen and stuff. Or Matilda, we're going to have to try to maybe investigate over there again.
Yeah, it's just crazy because, like, I mean, you could just tell how sad she was, and it just kind of felt like I could feel like how sad she was. And then I just told Sissy, and I was like, "Sissy, did you see that woman?" She's like, "No."
No, she don't have that gift like me. But no, and so you said earlier, yeah, she had a lot of illnesses and stuff before she died too. I think maybe cancer or something, diabetes. There was a lot of things that she had, I believe.
Well, the weird part about it is I told Sissy, I was like, it was like she was grieving over like a kid or something. And she said, well, she had a son or I think it was a son, wasn't
He
it?
he had multiple. Yeah, one.
That had died young.
Yeah, one had died, and so that would make sense if she's grieving. Um, I would think that would probably make probably more sense than her being sick. Maybe if that's the case, I don't know. I know when my uncle passed away, the activity skyrocketed. Yeah, oh, yeah, and hopefully it was in a good way too. Um, you know, yeah, you'll hear tapping. You hear that tap? Oh, that's the groundhog out there.
Is it?
Oh, the groundhog.
It's like scratching.
Yeah, he digs out in behind the shed. Yeah, if that's him, what I'd hear is not down on the floor; it's up in the top. A lot of times, it's up here on the where the attic part of it is up here.
Yeah,
I hear it hitting. Me and Amy were talking one night during the live stream, and I was actually sitting the other direction here, and I heard something go from up top of there. I mean, really? And Amy was like, "I heard that," and I said, "Oh yeah, it's up there." Hey, Beyond the Veil, how are you? But yeah, it's usually up higher, like down there. I mean, today, the groundhogs, I don't hear them at night, but during the day, they're out there scratching around all the time. But the hitting you'll hear is much higher up. A lot of times behind Jane and Robert's area there, that happens. Hey, Amy, how are you? But yeah, we'll hear the hitting on top and the hitting on the sides and stuff like that. So. But yeah, Amy heard it that night too. She said, "I heard that hit," and it was loud. It was about right here. Right there's where it was.
I mean, honestly, nothing can get right there.
No, there was nothing up there, and all it is storage up there.
Yeah.
And whatever it was hit hard. It hit that thing hard. So
I think somebody had asked a question up here.
Somewhere. Oh, did I miss a question? Let's see.
So.
Are there any great places to rent for a night to investigate around your area? I don't know as far as like hotels and stuff. I mean, they're always looking. Some of the places that are haunted, like hotels, I've tried to get into, and they just won't let you do that. There was one place I called that a friend of mine told me about, my friend Matt, and they were not. They didn't want that kind of publicity. So no, but there are places around here where I'm at, Riverside, Helen's Bridge, and places like that are pretty active. So in the Asheville area, and Western North Carolina area itself, there's other places I've not been to yet. I want to go to that are haunted. But
the KOA in Swananoa.
KOA, but. Like when I was at Dewey's, where he's buried at that cemetery, I thought I got his mom come through when it said my boy, or said murdered, then it said my boy. I feel like I got his dad. You'll see that video this week. Tomorrow I'll be dropping it. The one I did at the Mills, I got, I think maybe his dad, maybe, that came through. But anyway, you have to see that video to see all the stuff I came through, and then you need to go with me sometime too. I gotta have people that can see things that I don't see. Dead people.
Yeah.
I'm not like the what is that? The Sixth Sense or whatever that is. That movie was. I don't see dead people. And if I do, it's just like a glimpse. And it's not enough. I'm like, what was that?
Sometimes I see that a lot too, where you just see it out of the corner of your eye, like just a second, and you're like, was that real or was it seeing stuff?
Yeah, because I went out there to look. There was nothing out there. But I can feel dead people. I can't see dead people. And that's things that I can feel, oh my God, is just sadness, sickness, happiness, anger, rage, whatever. Yep, Laney's yours, that's for sure. Laney's like you, that's Amy's daughter. She can see spirits too. And so it's good to have somebody like that.
It's a nice gift.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how you found Dewey. That's right. You were looking through newspapers and thought maybe that might have been who was at Caitlin's house, but I guess it's a little boy named Ethan. Dewey, there's a couple of things about him that we're not exactly sure where he was shot and killed exactly, either the Mills or just up the road from the Mills, somewhere down the river there. But it's never. Those old newspapers are good to a certain degree, but there's a lot of misinformation. Yeah, it's getting tough. We're trying to get permission. Yeah, it is tough to get permission. Oh, Gary, did you ask a question I missed? Hang on just a second. And go back. Okay, can you contact them at will from any location? Are they? Do you like what he's trying to get? Say, is can you make the contact, or they make it to you?
Usually they make it to me first.
And it's anywhere, right?
Yeah, and then anywhere.
Mm-hmm. She don't really go out of her way to try to make contact with stuff for a lot of reasons, but they do make them with her apparently.
Which, I mean, if I had the time and my kids were older and stuff, I would probably go out and investigate and stuff.
Well, there'll be a day. There'll be a day when they get older and stuff. You can do stuff like that, but also you're also in that situation where the kids are so young, you don't want to bring anything home with you as bad, so you got to be careful. But a little bit you can do right now is good. I mean, you don't want to bring anything home. Yeah, it's like a 3-mile radius between a mill and a bridge that he could have got killed. And so it's not like, okay, as much as I love newspapers.com, it's not, everything is not accurate. They took what everybody said and just wrote it down. Let's see. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, for some reason I wrote those down wrong.
What you got?
Just rain and why.
Rain and why?
While I was looking over there.
What were you focusing on over there?
The bear. Which is really weird because you think I would focus on Jane, but.
Well, now you wrote down rain. The bear, I think, his name is Ryan.
Really? Maybe that's why.
And there's been times I've got why come through the ghost tool for whatever reason.
You think it's because they're asking, why are you doing this?
Might could be. I don't know. But I believe his name is Ryan. I believe he's followed me home from the Newton Academy Civil War Cemetery. And I don't know. And it's also, they got Revolutionary War soldiers in there as well. So I don't know which he is exactly. But I've gotten Army a few times. I'm not really sure everything about him. But it's funny, you got Rain while you were looking at him, and you think his name is Ryan.
Yeah, and see, I don't even know his name. I don't know none of their names except Jane. And then what's his name? I forgot.
Robert.
Yeah, Robert.
And then Michael's a little Eskimo doll. And then Penguin, we call him Petey. The only ones that really have the attachments that I can tell are Robert, Michael, Jane, and Ryan. The rest of them are just kind of just hanging out. And then I got this mirror in here, and I'm like, But hang on a minute, guys. Real quickly, I'll do this real quick. I know I don't always turn the camera on during the podcast, but I'll show you what I got. Kind of give you an idea of what Sunday's going to be like with this mirror in here now. Oh, that's me. Let me fix the camera. Oh, wait. There we go. I've got to switch cameras over. Come on. USB camera. There we go. All right. So, like on Sunday nights, that's a new setup. So you can see the mirror there now. Then all the dolls. And like I said, I'm going to try to put something right there with that mirror to see if it will trigger a light to come on. So there you go. Papers can get so wrong. Yeah, they can. See, back then, Gary, it's so funny. I don't know how it is over in England, but they would almost take anybody's word and just write it down, Like, some say, oh, you got shot at the mill. No, he got shot down at the bridge. And they just write it all down. And back then, it just seemed like they just didn't care for a whole lot of facts. Like now, they still don't care for a whole lot of facts. But anyway, somebody died. You may have gotten their name, but they have gotten Dewey's age wrong in the paper. In the paper, excuse me, it said one paper said he was 9 years old. On his headstone, it says he's 11. So, yeah, mirrors are a gateway. Yeah, anybody else got any more questions? Just don't put another face facing the mirror. Kayla's already told me to do that. So you got to have mirrors facing each other so they can be portals. I've read too where they don't have to do that. They are portals. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if this does anything. I got the motion camera on it 24/7. So yeah, you get 4 stories in one. Yep, that's true. Well, if anybody's got any more questions, or let me know. If not, we're going ahead and shut this down. Had fun having you on here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Ken's been wanting to do this a while. She got her stuff together and, was ready. She's very prepared, which is good.
It's just because I'm afraid I'll forget everything.
Yeah.
Because I do that often.
Yep, I do that a lot.
I'll be talking. I'll be like, wait, I don't know what I just said.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, that's the thing when you're investigating, sometimes you get so involved in things going on, you'll forget what you're talking about sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Cece said a great podcast. Thank you.
That's why I think I'm going to start writing stuff down, because all I did was look at him. I never did look at this.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wrote, that's why it
So
looks like chicken scratch.
The bear was what your focus was on?
Yeah. And I don't even know what even drawed me to him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think he's a soldier. I'll show you guys. So the bear up top, middle, between Jane and the monkey, that's the bear she's been focusing on. So, and she wrote down Rain, and his name's Ryan, so that's pretty close. Could he have died, when it was raining or something? I don't know. That's a possibility. But she's been focusing on him the whole time. For some reason. We'll maybe find out more later on. Yeah. On Sunday nights, we do investigations. So we'll see. I will start scaling those back over time a little bit. But it'll probably be another month or so before I ever start doing that. But for right now, we're doing Sunday nights investigation. What I thought about doing was doing investigations like on random nights sometimes. Just so, like today, we've been able to see people in the chat we've not seen in a long time, or people are new and all that. So I want to reach people in different ways, and I think it's important. So, so we'll mix and match stuff. The podcast will always be on Wednesdays, except for the 15th. I'm going to have Past Life on the 15th on Sunday. So that'll be a podcast night, not investigation night. So anyway, but we will sometimes, move the podcast around if we need to. No big deal. Like I said, I'd like to get Rich up here, let him talk about his thing, experiences that he's had. Rich is very cool. If you've not seen his channel, The Still One, it's really cool. Paranormal, comic books, it's all kinds of different things. Bama, we had Bama up here not long ago. It's in our podcast catalog here on YouTube. You want to go back and listen to his podcast. Amy was up here. All that's in a podcast playlist on the channel. And my sister was up here before. So, yeah. So I'm hoping to have more guests. And when I don't have guests, we'll talk about something paranormal. Let's see. See the Native American hunting ground. Maybe his name is Rain. The ghost who picks up Ryan. It could be. I don't know. Still a lot of things about that bear I'd like to know more about. And Jane would ever politely put her name in somebody's device on Sunday nights, we'd be very happy. We've not had that yet. It's been 2 years, Jane. Bama said he's going to frame it too. I'm going to send a picture to Bama if I get it, or if he gets it, he can send it to me, and we'll just show Jane, and we'll put it in picture frames and frame it. Amy will too. She'll frame it too. We'll all frame it. There you go. All right, guys. Well, I guess if that's it and nobody else has any questions, we're going to go ahead and shut it down. I hope everybody has a good rest of the week. We'll be back on Sunday night to do our investigation, 9:30 Eastern. And thank you again, Katie.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. And guys, just check us out. I got a video coming out tomorrow. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. And until Sunday night, we'll see you soon. God bless. Bye.
Bye.